Good afternoon. I'm Lisa Broom with the CBC News Break. Senior meteorologist at the Met Office, Claremont Williams, is telling Barbadians to forget the numbers and prepare as best they can for the 2016 Atlantic hurricane season, which officially starts today, June 1st. Barbados and other Caribbean islands have been warned to brace for a wetter than usual season and chances of more hurricane activity this year than in the past 5 years. Mr. Williams is advising Barbadians not to be complacent and get their houses in order.
Forget the numbers. Whether it's below average, above average. We only really need one system to affect us significantly. And for us, that can be considered an active season. So really and truly, whether the season is below average or above average, we still need to have that level of preparation. In other words, you do what you know you should do before the start of the season.
Giving further analysis on the season, the senior Met official says he's paying close attention to the possibility of a reversal of El Niño conditions. He says this will allow La Niña conditions to prevail, making it more favorable for storms and hurricanes to form.
If these La Niña conditions do materialize, then there is a good chance that as we get into the peak of the season, that things could be a little more active. So even though the projections now are for average conditions, there's still that possibility that we could see a little more activity later in the season.
Social Care Minister Steve Blackett has added his voice to the debate on corporal punishment. He commented on the issue while delivering the feature address at a child abuse management workshop organized by the Child Care Board in association with the United Nations Children's Fund.
We do not intend to interfere with reasonable parental discipline and child-raising practices that are not injurious to the child. However, it is the intent of the law that comprehensive protective services will be provided for abused, neglected, exploited, and abandoned children.
And legal advisor to the Child Care Board, Queen's Counsel Beverly Lady Walren, says her personal view is that alternative methods of punishment should be used.
I think the time has come for us to learn other ways of disciplining children, and more particularly, speaking with children, reasoning with children, because if you have to batter or beat somebody into submission, when that pressure goes, unless you are lucky and they have internalized the discipline, then you get what you get when they're adults and out doing what they do.
Scotland District must be rehabilitated as a matter of urgency. This is according to former Prime Minister Owen Arthur. He says the district represents 1/7 of the island's land mass and is critical to issues like food security.
Major sources of concessional financing are available to support the environmental management and protection initiatives such as the Scotland District Rehabilitation Programme. Such an investment can be made to be one of the chief means by which Barbados uses food security initiatives to generate growth. If undertaken, and if 1/7 of our land area is brought back into productive use, it would enable more effective use to be made of the remaining 6/7 of Barbados' land area.
Mr. Arthur was the featured speaker at the Barbados Chamber of Commerce and Industries luncheon at the Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Centre yesterday. He says government and the private sector need to work together to create a smart cyber city, which will provide state-of-the-art facilities and information technology services on par with the best in the world. Mr. Arthur says the UE Cayfield campus needs to be equipped as a science park.
For the future stability, growth, and transformation of Barbados must entail the transformation of its ICT sector into one of its main pillars of the economy. Mauritius is already far advanced on such an endeavor with its new cyber city at Eben, with more smart cities to come. It is not difficult to conceive of how the Warrens area and the corridor, including the UW at Cayfield, could be made our smart cyber city.
There's a need for a national dialogue on the size of government and the services it provides. President of the Barbados Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Eddie Abed, says this is necessary based on the level of debt facing the country.
In our 50th year of independence, we must be aware and thankful for the sacrifices and hard work of our forefathers and the good governance of both political parties. Surely with 50 years comes a certain amount of responsibility and comprehension that our national goals cannot be achieved without greater productivity for increased pay, better governance by greater transparency, and prioritizing government's programs in an era where the cost of providing world-class services is impossible with less revenue.
Workers of the Spring Garden plant of the Barbados Light and Power Company staged a brief protest this morning in solidarity with a colleague following a reported incident with a supervisor. The action lasted approximately 20 minutes. The Light and Power, in a statement, said the work stoppage came about following a misconstrued nudge between a supervisor and an employee at a recent meeting. It says the supervisor apologized subsequent to that meeting and the employee accepted the apology. The company's investigation showed that there was no harmful intent and none was perceived. Human Resource Manager Gail Ann King said she was disappointed at the action. Time for a break now, but when we come back, regional and international